Welcome, you folks. We're glad to have you with us this afternoon. This is the 17th of January of 2024, a brand new year. And I'm Don Snow. I'm in Provo, Utah. And our host is Gerhard Roof. He's over in Orem. And we have some folks on Zoom. And this is being broadcast both on Zoom as well as on Facebook. Our topic today for the class is on ideas for using AI, that's artificial intelligence, in family history. And there is no question but what AI is a game changer in what's happening in the world, and but it's in particularly in family history. There is just so many things that it will do. I've just been having a lot of fun just trying it out. But if you're like me, you need somebody to show you how to get started on it to get into it. And that's what we hope this presentation will do for you today. Now, here's some of the things that, whoops, what happened? Here's some of the things that we're going to be talking about, and I'll show you the notes because the notes are posted online and they're there already with links in them and so on. We're going to talk about using AI in family history. Well, first of all, AI, what that stands for is artificial intelligence. Uh, as James Tanner points out in a recent talk that we had, a presentation that he did for us on our UV tag, it's neither artificial nor is it intelligent. We'll talk more about that later on. We're going to talk about what AI is and then some concerns about using it. And you'll see some examples where it warns you every time you get a result, this may not be accurate. So don't take these, uh, uh, whatever the results, without checking them out yourself. How to use it. We'll show you how to get into some of the free AI sites. There are both free and commercial ones, but I'm only dealing here with the free ones today, and only a couple of those as well. And then what those are and the links to them and ways to get into those, and then some examples of actually using it. Now, the class notes are always on my website, and there's the link, UVTAGG, that's Utah Valley Technology and Genealogy Group.org, classes slash dons slash dons hyphen classes.html. And all my notes are on there for the past classes, etc. And so these notes will stay on there as well. There are links on there. There are links on how you can watch videos and that sort of thing. So we'll take a look right now at what those notes look like. I'm going to shift gears here by using an Alt Tab and getting into, if I can find it, here it is. This is, now let me make this a little bit bigger. You could probably see this, but my eyesight is getting so poor, I have to use a magnifier to see it. But I won't turn that magnifier on because it's annoying for anybody that can see well on it. I'll make this a little bit larger down below too if I can see it. I can't see it. Anyway, this is the class notes page and the updates on here. There are various things on here, links to different sorts of things. And then classes coming up. Incidentally, there are the links right there as to how to watch the videos and where they are and where they're stored, etc. Classes coming up. Here's the two. This one is today's class, the first one there. The next one will be in February, and that'll be a successor to this class. I think I'm going to do a series of classes on AI. And then the past classes are down here, and this scrolls down to 2 or 3 or 400 classes with the links to them. Now on the classes coming up, if you click on that link right there, it takes you directly to well, I've already got it opened up, but I'll click on it again. So it'll open it up. It takes you right to these notes. These are the notes for today. Ideas for using artificial intelligence, AI, in family history. There's a short biography or abstract there that'll give you the information about some of the things that we're going to be doing. And let's just walk through some of these notes so that you can see what's there. And then we'll get back to the demos. I want to spend time with the demos mostly today. Item 4 is what we're going to be discussing today. What is AI, and how do you use it, and what are some of the free websites for it? Now, there's a long paragraph here with several subheads of about AI. Here's what AI is. First of all, it stands for artificial intelligence. And as James Tanner pointed out in his class for us was in November, he did, and that class is online on our website as well if you want to go watch his. He's a prominent genealogist, lives here in Provo, and he talked about what AI was. He says it's neither artificial nor is it intelligent. What it is, it's computer-aided search. And you say, well, what's the difference between that and Google or Bing or some of these other things? Uh, in Google and Bing, you have to know what you're looking for. You have to know where to find it. Like I gave a class in, I guess it was in November class about how to find death records. You don't have to know where those death records are. If you use AI, you can type in and say, find the death records for Louisiana. I think that's even one of the examples I put down there. So you don't have to know the details of it. It will find the details. Now, what's happening with AI is we've been using AI for years. We just didn't call it that. If you use a smartphone, an iPhone, you use Siri, S-I-R-I. That's AI. You probably didn't think about that, but that is. If you use Android, let's see, what's the Android one? I can't remember what it's called, but there's a Google Assistant, and I use an Echo Dot here at home. All that's AI, but we only started calling it AI, and it became a big deal in the year 2021, in the middle of the pandemic. But we'd been using it for a long time before that. Now, what AI is they sometimes refer to it as large language models. What it does is it's websites that take the everything that's been published online, that's posted online, all the text files and even images, but we're only dealing here with text files, and says if you're searching for something like a death record in New York City, it will look for when you say find me the death records in New York City, it will say, okay, death records. What words occurred near death records in any place in these large collections of data, that the text that is found, and what words occurred near New York City, and it will find those, and then it will put it together in a fashion that's a narrative format, so that it will actually write it out for you. So you don't have to know where the thing is; it'll find it, and then it will give you the link, and it'll say, "This is where I found it." And there is always that's why they call it large language models, because it's based on all this large collections of data that have been posted on the internet. Without those, there would be no AI. But it warns you every time, this may not be accurate, so you need to check it. And so, and I've discovered you have to take it not with a grain of salt, you got to take it with a spoonful of salt, because there's just some strange things that come up that you have no idea where they came from, where it got some of the data, but you know it's wrong. As I'll show you examples here in a few minutes. So there are concerns about it, but keep in mind that it only deals with what has already been posted on the internet. So if something happens tomorrow, that can't be, you can't find out anything about that today, here, now. You can find maybe somebody who's going to say, well, I think maybe this is going to happen, or this is a survey or something like that. But it's based on what's posted online now that it uses. And it's they update the stuff every day with it. So there are some things to be careful of on there. Because of that, be careful about posting anything personal about yourself or any living person online, because you never know where that's going to end up, because it might be show up someplace in something, and people will say, oh, look at this, here's an address as to where this person lives, and so on. So anyway, that just be careful of that. There's several other things in here that in this collection of information that take time to read through it when you get a chance. Now, the next section in here is some free AI websites, and these are the ones we want to look at today. the first one, it's item number 16, is Edges. That's Microsoft. Remember Edge is a browser. Remember Chrome is a browser, Edge is another browser, Opera. There's a bunch of browsers, things that you look at websites with. Uh, the Microsoft browser Edge has built into it an AI component, and it's called Copilot. That's there's a link information as to how you get into it there, though we'll show you an easier way that Gerhard came up with last night when we were going. He was correcting all the typos in my notes here and so on, and we tried some things, and I should have put that in there. I will eventually, but it's an easier way to get to it. We'll show you in a few minutes. That's the item 16. We'll use that one for it. You don't have to use the browser Edge. You can use Chrome and still get to it, get to the Microsoft AI section. The next one on there, 17, is Chat GPT. That's the one that got the big play in the fall of, I think it was November of 2021. The GPT, I finally found what that means, and it's listed there. It means chat and then generative pre-trained transformer. That's GPT. I don't have any idea what that means. It's computer jargon, but anyway, that's where the GPT comes from. Microsoft owns most of, or at least a big share of, OpenAI. That's the website that where this thing is stored, and the older versions of ChatGPT are free. Version of 3.5, I think, is the one that's on there. Though last night Gerhard and I found one that says you can get to version 4 for free also, but I haven't even tried that. And then the next item on there, item 18, is called Summarize It. It's a program which will summarize, take any, it's got to be a YouTube video, but any video, copy the URL, and we'll show an example of that. And then it will summarize that for you in just a couple of minutes. It'll summarize the whole video of what it was, what the whole thing that was talked about, and it'll give you a written version of what that was. Here are some examples of things you can try in there. And these are just some that I've been trying, and I've been having a lot of fun with this in the last few days, typing in different kinds of things and asking it questions. And it's kind of like trial and error. You try something, and if that doesn't work, you modify it slightly, add in a little bit of a different word or a different spacing, different name, or make the name complete because it didn't recognize exactly who that person was, and it gave you 3 other people that were not that person, and so on. So you try it and you keep working with it. Just say, okay, change the words to this and change a little bit more here, and it will give you the list of things. And I find it very helpful to copy those, just highlight them and copy it onto my clipboard, and then paste it into a file. And I'm using the Evernote file to save this stuff, and it saves the links for the web pages and all that sort of thing. And then there's some conclusions down here about its use and so on. As I've thought through this and preparing this, it seems to me that what we're going to see is a difference even in the way we teach classes and the subject matter that we teach in family history. When I first started in family history, we used to teach how to write letters and how to find the information and where to write for birth certificates or death records or something of that nature. That all changed when the internet came about, and then we started using email and internet and the World Wide Web and so on. Now we're going to see another change, because now you don't have to know exactly the details. You can ask AI and it will find the details for you without you having to know. All right, now that's the notes that are on there, and so we're going to be using that for illustrations. Now let me get back to the PowerPoint here to show you. Here we go. That's the notes. We want to show some demos of using this Edge's Copilot. That it's Bing AI. Remember that Bing is their search engine, like Google is the search engine. And I use the browser Chrome, which is a Google search engine, but Google is what searches. Edge is the browser that Microsoft has, but Bing is the search engine in the default search engine in Edge. We'll talk about that. We'll look at, if we have time, we'll look at OpenAI's ChatGPT, though that's kind of old now. The free version is old, and I haven't done the version 4. I think they're up to version 5 or 6, but they're commercial and you have to pay for them. There's a lot of free versions out there, free websites out there, probably 50 of them that do AI for free, and there's probably 50 more that charge for it, and the new sorts of things, and then that summarized program that I want to show you, and then some suggested uses. All right, now let me get into my browser here so that we can show you what some of this stuff does. Let's see, that's back on this one. All right, now I'm going to, I've actually set up a link. You may see right here. I can hardly see it, but you may be able to see it, where it says Copilot. That's a link that this is the browser Chrome. This is not Edge, but this is Chrome. You can get to do the same thing in Edge, but we're as of last night when Gerhard and I were trying this, we found it's just as easy to use Chrome if you're used to it. So right there it says Copilot. That's a link that I put in here after we found this last night. I'm going to click on that link, and did I get the wrong one? Yeah, I hit the wrong one. There's Copilot. Okay, now what this is, and it's kind of blanked off there at the top. It says Copilot, your everyday AI companion, and it's with Bing. Bing is the search engine in Edge, but we're using the search engine, the browser Chrome here. Now look at these different sorts of things. You can organize, you can chat, you can do different things. It'll even tell you jokes if you wanted to get a joke about something. Now, as I scroll down here a little bit, right, it's got all these different things to try out, different sorts of things. Now look down here. It says, ask me anything. Okay. Oh, now let me tell you, first of all, how to get to this before we go any further, because this is what is so hard and what I have to see as an example. If you type in your browser, type in the address bar, what's up here? It says Copilot dot, let's see if I can highlight that for you right there. Copilot.microsoft.com. Now that is not in the notes. It ought to be, but we just discovered this last night. Just type that in, copilot.microsoft.com into, I'm using the Chrome browser here, but I suppose it'll work in any browser. I don't know. I haven't tried it in anything other than this and Edge. But that will take you to the Microsoft web page, which is this Copilot, which is the AI, the artificial intelligence that they have, that Microsoft is using. Okay, so that's the simple way to get there. Once you type that in, then to put that icon right up there on my toolbar, I just drug this piece. You see right in front of it, there's a little icon. I just clicked on that icon and drug it down here to the toolbar and dropped it right there. Now, if you want to put it on your desktop, just drag it from in front of that address thing out here onto your desktop someplace and drop it. And then when you click on that, it will open up Chrome and take you right to this. That's a much simpler way than what I described in the notes for you. Now, let's use an illustration here. Ask me anything. Okay, I'm going to click in there where it says ask me anything, and I'm going to say find information, F-I-N, find information on Eldon Snow, L-E-L-D-O-N, that's my dad, Eldon S. Snow, in Utah. Okay, now that's pretty nebulous, isn't it? Dad was born in St. George and lived in, well, he was actually born in Bunkerville, Nevada, and then lived in St. George. And then First World War, he was over in France and Germany, and then he went to dental school at USC in Los Angeles and so on. I'm just saying, find it in about Eldon S. Snow in Utah. Now over here to the right, you see where it says down there, it says submit with that big arrow right there. Click. Okay. Now it's thinking. it's looking on through its stuff, and it's starting to say it's finding stuff, and you see it's beginning to write things out here. Now, I can wait for just a second and see what it says and the details, and then we'll look at them all here. And I find after I've found some of this stuff to just copy it, to highlight it all and copy it and save it off into a text file so that I don't lose what I've already found. Okay, now let's see what this says. It says searching for Eldon S. Snow in Utah. It says generating information for you. It says there are a few possible matches for Eldon S. Snow. Eldon Stafford Snow, that was my dad, 1891 to 1950, that's his birth and death years, was a doctor who lived in Los Angeles, California. He was actually a dentist, but he has a doctor because of dental for about 10 years. Now that he lived there for 30 years, something like that. So 10 years. He was born in St. George. Well, he lived in St. George, but he wasn't born there. He was raised for enlisted military service in 1917. That's true. Notice that those are underlined, so I can click on those and it'll tell you where it came up with that information. And so you can check it out to see. Eldon Snow. Now there's another one, Eldon Snow Lang. Now I don't know who that was. I have no idea. Might be a relative. He was born in someplace else. Iron County. Oh, down there too. He's probably a relative of some sort or another. Let's see what else. Lawrence Eldon Snow. I think that's my cousin. I think that's my Uncle Harold's son, Lee Eldon, we called him. He was named after my dad, but I think he's still alive up in someplace in Lehigh. Okay, and then it says learn more, and then ancestors search, and find some finding whatever that says. Find a grave. Yeah, find a grave, because it's probably would find my dad and find a grave. Now, there's a couple of other things down here to click on if you want to. What is the history of St. George, Utah? Can you find more information about Eldon Snow? Let me click on that one. Who are some famous people? Let me click on this. Can you find more? So let's see what happens. Okay, it thinks for a minute, and then it begins coming up with more information. And again, keep in mind that you need to check this out. Don't accept it as gospel truth without checking it, because it brings in all kinds of strange things that have no idea what happens with it. In one case, it said that my dad had a son named Kenneth something or another from Salt Lake City. I have no idea where that came from or who this kid is. Maybe there was another Eldon Snow in Utah. I don't know, but I have no idea who that Kenneth was. So that was certainly not accurate. It gives you some more information here, more information about it. In fact, it even came up with there it is. That's FamilySearch.org. It found my dad in FamilySearch.org, and it gave me the link to where he is in FamilySearch.org, and so on. So the way they get this, you have to scroll back and forth in order to see that. He was the son of Erastus Beeman Snow and Ann Stapp. That's correct. He was. And he married Mary LeVere Baker. That's my mom. 6 October. I don't know where they got that date. I guess out of the marriage records in Los Angeles, but that's the correct date, in 1923 in Los Angeles, California, and so on. And there's more information in here. So you can keep asking for more information. And if you don't get the right stuff, change the wording a little bit. When I typed in just Eldon Snow, it gave me several Eldon Snows that were not my dad. So I put in Eldon S. Snow, and it gave me more information. And then I put in Eldon Stafford Snow, and so on. Now you can put in here, for example, if you wanted to see, here's the Ask Me Everything down here again. Suppose you wanted to find death records, and I think one of the examples I stuck down there was just death records in Louisiana. Type it in. How do I find death records in Louisiana in the United States? And it will come back with information. Well, let me try it. How to find death records better Louisiana. Did I spell that right? I guess that's right. And I won't even put United States. I'll just put Louisiana and see what comes up. And you notice you can always click stop responding. Um, now it says uh, searching for, and now it's coming back with information. And it'll give me some links for it and so on for this. So you don't have to know where to look for the records. It will find where to look for the records. But I found that you have to say a little more detail. I thought I'm going to try to find my cousin's phone number in Tucson, Arizona. This was Sunday night. I was trying that because I phoned them several years ago, and but the no answer on the phone, and I thought, well, I'll try again. So I typed in find the telephone number for my cousin down there, and it came back with 3 or 4 different phone numbers. I never did try anyone, but one of the results came back and said something about deceased. And so I said, find an obituary for my cousin's name. And it thought for a minute and it found an obituary. I said, of Tucson, Arizona. It found an obituary, but it was in 2 Idaho papers, the Idaho Statesman and the Idaho Tribune or something like that. And it was my cousin, all right. He died 3 years ago and I didn't know it. But it mentioned that the mortuary was the Garden City Mortuary in Garden City, Idaho, not the Garden City up by Bear Lake, but someplace. And I remember that his wife was from Idaho, and I don't know whether she's still alive. I haven't found the full obituary yet. It was just a brief obituary, but it talked about him dying at age 87, and he was from Tucson, Arizona. It's clearly my cousin, and I didn't know he died 3 years ago. And so I never would have thought to look in an Idaho paper for an obituary for him. But that's anyway, that all that happened Sunday when I started looking for it. Now there's this, if I go down through this thing, here's what it found here. Uh, and you can copy off some of this stuff to see what's there. Uh, Louisiana Department of Health, there's how you'd find that. The vital records control, etc. So it gives you all these websites as to where you can write, and then it's got 2 or 3 more questions down here on that. Now that just gives you a sample of some of that of what you can do with it. Now we won't take time to. I don't have time to talk about Chat GPT, but I do want to show you this other program. This summarize it. Let me see if I can get back to. Let's see, back to the notes because there's a link in the notes on there. It's down here at this. Where is it? Right down this link right here. And the link is in there. And so I'm just going to click on it so that it will open up the link. Okay, now this requires that it's a video from YouTube. So I've got a link that I've got videos up here on YouTube. Let's see, there's YouTube. Let me click on YouTube and then do a search in here. I'm going to have to turn on my magnifier so that I can see this plus. And so now this will come up big. Come on. Windows, where's my, let's see, it's Windows plus. We'll turn on my magnifier. Okay. Now, okay. Now this, well, I would type, that's Tom Gill. That's the class we had last Saturday. If you look up here in the search, I'll search for UVTAGG. Oops, I didn't get it spelled right. Let me back over here. UVTAGG, and then hit enter. Okay, now this is our, well, that's not it. Here it is. There's our YouTube one. I'll turn the magnifier off here in a minute. Okay, I'm going to click on this. This gives us the there's our class. This was last Saturday. That's Tom Gill. He was our speaker last Saturday. There's other things on Tom, and then my classes are listed in here and so on. Let me get the URL for this. I'm going to click on that one, And I'm going to copy the URL. It's up here in there. I'm going to. Oh, that's me talking. Okay, now I'm going to turn that off. That's if you want to watch it. Okay, now I'm back here in. Am I in? No, I need to get back into. Oh well, okay. Let's see. I think I put a.
You are on Copilot.
Yeah, I didn't want a Copilot. I wanted the other one, uh, and I just closed the thing. So I'll have to go back here to my notes and open it up. It's I think it was as I recall it's summarize.tech. Uh, let's see, it's right here. Uh, summarize. No, that's the blog. That's not it. It's the free website. This one right here. I want to show you what happens with this thing. Okay, now there it is. Okay, summarize.tech. Yeah. Okay, now you go down here. It's got some things here you can try that are in there. It says here, I'm going to paste that URL in here. Control V. Okay, and now I'm going to hit enter. Okay, now it's thinking through what's going on with this. Actually, I did this earlier today, so it's already done it, and it just keeps track of it. This is a summary of the 13th of January. That was last Saturday of Thomas P. Gill, family search, colon, observations from the past 15 years. That was the title of his talk. And then it says this was an AI generated thing, summarize, etc. There's the time, exactly the time that that's on there. And here's the stuff in this YouTube video from that date. He talks about such and such, the observations. There's the summary. It only took about 20 seconds to generate that thing. And there's a summary from the audio part of it. It's phenomenal. And it's got to be a YouTube video. There's probably something that will do other videos, but this is a YouTube video. And there's a summary of what Tom Gill talked about last Saturday morning in our UV tag meeting. I just think this is phenomenal of to get summaries of the whole thing and the details about it. Well, anyway, you've gotten some ideas about AI and what you can do with it, at least the beginnings of it. But I've realized that it really is going to be a game changer in what's happening with now. Let me turn the magnifier off so you don't there it is. So we've looked at some of those demos and so on. Here's a summary as to just what we've done here with AI and family history. We talked about what AI was, and then we did things to consider and consider that it may not be accurate, but it gives you information. I found it may help you remember things, or it may help you find things that you didn't know about before. And you don't have to know where it's finding it because it'll give you the link to it as to where it is so you can check it yourself. And we looked at some free AI websites. We only examined two of them, but the Chat GPT is on there too. And there are at least 50 more free ones. And then there's a lot of commercial ones. The commercial ones are better, of course, but I like free. And so that's the only ones I dealt with in this class. And my next couple of classes, I think in the next little while, I think I'm going to try some more things with this because there's going to be things that we can do that are totally different than what we've had in the past. Now, that's enough. We're actually over time, but do you have any quick questions or comments that you'd like to make? And if you do, if you're on Zoom, just unmute you mute your microphone. If you're on Facebook, we'd be interested to know where you're from in Facebook. Just send in a note, but you have to make a comment or a question, you'll have to type it in.
I have a few from Facebook, Don.
Okay.
First of all, Patty commented that she found Bing AI to be very helpful, and she found that following the links that were provided, there was a lot of additional helpful information, and she followed those links.
Oh, good, good, good. I'm glad. Thanks, Patty.
She's from Indianapolis, by the way.
Oh, gosh, good.
Uh, Nancy is from New Jersey.
Oh, all right.
Carol said she uses Chat GPT to transcribe handwritten certificates.
Wow, that's
That's
interesting.
one you haven't tried yet.
That I have. Yeah, there's so much. This is opening up so many new ideas that we're going to have to. It's a game changer. It's going to change what we do and the way we do it on family history.
Yeah. Anyway, those are some comments from Facebook watchers.
Wonderful. I appreciate that. Anybody else have any comments or questions?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I use a Mac. How should I look for an AI program would do the same thing? What's my search for?
Say that again. You use a map to do what?
Mac, the Macintosh computer. So
Oh,
how
maps.
should I word, if I search for one, how should I word it to go searching on Google? Or
Uh,
that AI that would help the man.
yeah, I haven't experimented with maps at all on AI, but I'm sure there's that'd be another good class sometime. This is opening up so many new things that and mapping would be another one. As you know, can you find me a Sanborn fire map of Indianapolis or something like that? Without knowing where to look for it, maybe it'll find that, or a map that would show the distance between two towns, or and so on. One question I thought to ask it, that I haven't done it yet, is my dad was born in Bunkerville, Nevada, which I always thought was in Clark County. The county seat is Las Vegas. But then several years ago, I realized that in the days Dad was born in 1891, it was in Lincoln County, and the county seat was Pioche County. So I thought about, well, I need to type in there, where would I find a birth record of Bunkerville, Nevada in 1891? And it should, I haven't tried it, so I don't know, but it should find that, look in Pioche, not in Las Vegas. So it's like mapping, but it's like the old, what we call that program, AnyMap. Do you remember that AnyMap program that we used to use that showed the different uh, locations of cities in in the counties in the United States? But mapping is, that's another whole question. What James Tanner talked about last in November in his class, he showed even making images, various things, and that's another whole area that I haven't even mentioned anything like images with AI. Any other questions or comments? Well, I appreciate you being with us, and hopefully you've got a little bit of an idea out of this so that you can try it. It's for me, it's been hard just figuring it out to get into it because of knowing how. But now that I know how to get into it, I don't think it's quite so hard. So hopefully I've shown you some ideas on it too. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next time in the month of February. My hope is to do another class on something on AI, but with maybe AI, maybe preparing class outlines or something like that. We'll see for sure later on. Anyway, thanks for being with us today. We appreciate your attendance.